Hey guys, got a really exciting panel. By the way, my name is Nate Whitehill. I'm the CEO and co-founder of CryptoSlate, which is a cryptocurrency and blockchain news website based in Seattle. Have an epic panel of stable geniuses right here. So let's get started. Let's do a quick introduction. I can just go down, starting with you, Justin.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Name is Justin Wu. For those that don't know about my background, I've been doing a lot of growth community building for dApps, blockchain games, NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and a lot of post-ICO projects that really want to ramp up their community, their brand, and their outreach. I think a lot of people are going out there and focusing on building without actually communicating and building that further. So my company is called CoinState. We also just hold like the Blockchain Northwest and a few other cool events too around the world. And yeah, looking forward to talking more about stablecoins throughout the panel. An interesting perspective is I think that with the panel that you see here, like I work and interface with a lot of dApps, a lot of different utility tokens, security tokens and offerings. We have Corey who's a stablecoin, and then Fred that's working on an actual app, a dApp wallet, and as well as a token project too. So there's kind of like different angles in terms of depth of stablecoin or perspective from mass adoption all the way down to the real root of stablecoins. So I'll let you go take it from there.
Yeah. Hey everyone, it's Corey again. I am the CEO and co-founder of Stably. We are a stablecoin startup here in the Pacific Northwest, and we are creating a US dollar-backed cryptocurrency, aka a stablecoin, called Stable USD. I have my table over there. You guys want to come over and check us out later. So I graduated from the University of Washington 3 years ago. Go Huskies! And I've been working in banking, finance, investment ever since. Most recently, last year, I worked at PitchBook, right over there. And, the crypto craze got a hold of me, and so now I'm here. I fundraised $500,000 from a founder startup and some venture capital firm, as well as angel investor about 4 months ago to start this project. And we are launching in about a month or so. Very exciting time, and I'm happy to be here to participate in this panel.
Hi, thank you, Corey. I'm a big fan of Corey's. My name's Fred Kruger. I am a serial entrepreneur. I've had 9 exits, all over $10 million. The biggest was $250 million. I am a huge fan of stablecoins, and I think they are going to be actually the dominant consumer experience of crypto in the next 2 years. I think Bitcoin's trash. You might as well just throw it out the window. I think I am building a dApp called WorkCoin. It will use a stable coin in it because I think people want to get paid with something. If I pay somebody $500, they want to get $500. They don't want to get a Chuck E. Cheese token. And I've also built a wallet that hopefully will hold some Corey stablecoin in it called EOS Links, and it's available in the App Store. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Okay, let's get right into it. So, Corey, you're probably the most stable genius I know. So, Corey, what is the difference between the various types of stablecoins, and how can a stablecoin achieve price stability?
Very interesting question. So there are actually 3 different types of stablecoin in existence on the market right now, and if there's a 4th one, there will be some type of hybrid. But the most basic one is fiat-backed stablecoins. These are cryptocurrency that are backed by a reserve of cash in real life, be it the US dollar, the euros, or Japanese yen. And these stablecoins, you can buy them for exactly $1, or you can redeem with the issuers for $1. These projects, although they leverage decentralized protocols to build their stablecoin on top of those, they are still in essence centralized because you need a centralized deposit in real life to hold all these reserves. The second type of stablecoin out there is cryptocurrency-backed stablecoins. So instead of being backed by fiat, these stablecoins are actually backed by other cryptocurrencies. And these systems are essentially 100% decentralized because they don't have to rely on a real-life depository. However, because they are backed by cryptocurrencies, which are in essence, very volatile, usually there has to be a volatility buffer. That means, the collateral has to be more than what the face value of the stablecoin should be. So, for example, if I issue $1 of the stablecoin, I need to back it with like $2 of Ethereum or Bitcoin. The last type of stablecoin out there is falls under the unbacked seigniorage model, and in a nutshell, it essentially relies on a smart contract to manipulate the supplies of the token in order to theoretically peg its price to $1. Yay!
Stable elevators.
Stable elevators.
Not so stable.
Not so stable. Yeah, so these last type of stable coins, they whenever the coin's below $1, the smart contract would burn some of the tokens to reduce the supply, theoretically bringing the price back up. And whenever the token is more than $1, they issue some more tokens and dilute the supply and hopefully bring the price back down to $1.
So you just mentioned 3 types. What would be examples of the 3 types that you just mentioned?
So for the fiat-backed stablecoin, there's the largest stablecoin in the world right now, starts with a T, is named Tether. And that is an example of a fiat-backed stablecoin. Other projects out there, of course, includes us, Stable USD. And there's also True USD. And there's another one in New Zealand called NZDT that's used on the Cryptopia exchange. For crypto-backed stablecoin, there are MakerDAO. MakerDAO is a decentralized stablecoin protocol that lets you back your stablecoin with ERC20 tokens. Also BitShares, BitUSD. And lastly, for the unbacked model, we have Nubit, we have Basis, and Koala, or Carbon and Fragments. Shout out to Carbon and Fragments. Those guys are doing some great work out there as well.
Clearly a lot of competition in the stablecoin space. Justin, what can you tell me about some popular use cases for dApps and stablecoins?
Yeah, well, the issue with a lot of the dApps out there, I mean, like most of these dApps don't even have stablecoins component to it. So I think that right now we're still in the infrastructure phase. What we heard is like 3 to 4 different types of stablecoins out there, and so everybody has their own thesis and different ways to kind of like balance out the price. And so we're still in the infancy stage where Stably and all the other projects are going to need to launch first and get it out. And there's probably like, 20 plus or more projects, right?
Well, there's a stablecoin conference going on in London in October, and they informed me they're inviting like 90 projects. So,
90, okay,
yeah.
so there's 90, 90 projects out there. And so each of these are going to bring in a lot of institutions. And then that will, hopefully they get audited, especially if they're asset backed. That will bring more transparency and trust. But the use case for stablecoins is that I think a lot of the issues that we're seeing is that a lot of these tokens are the price is volatile. So if you're building like a blockchain project that is like a point of sale system for a restaurant, they don't want to accept your restaurant token because that burger might be less worth, or the money they make from that will just collapse. It's volatile. So they want to get paid out in some sort of stable currency. Another use case that I was talking to a few other projects too is like security tokens offerings. If they want to actually pay out their dividends, they can actually start paying out in stable coins. So that's like an interesting thing where like royalties pay out, they can pay out in their own token, maybe if they're allowed to do that, or they just pay out in actual stable coins. So, I think that maybe Fred can talk a little bit more about like apps or application use cases.
Yeah, so thanks. I think
cases.
I'll tell you one of the use cases that's sort of not specific to any specific app, but I think is really big, which is going from fiat to crypto, right? So right now, everybody in this room has this issue of how do I get people to buy my token, right? And so right now that means there's certain exchanges, like Bittrex is available in some states to accept fiat, okay? But not every state. So why don't banks get in the mix? Why doesn't banks who have money transmission network licenses in every state get in the mix? Well, one of the reasons they don't want to do it is they don't want to be Bitcoin dealers, right? They don't know what the price of Bitcoin is today. They don't want to hold Bitcoin. But if you think about it, stablecoin's right up their alley, right? They've already done Amex travelers checks, They understand the idea of issuing a certificate for dollars against the dollars that you give them ahead of time. No risk in that. They just take a fee. So I think that's going to be a big, big use case, and really exciting to me is I would like a way for a normal customer to say, I'd like to put $100 in crypto and have $100 worth of crypto at the end, $100 of stablecoin. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
That's a great point. And expanding on that, Fred, could you talk a little bit more about the Workcoin platform and what the ancillary benefit will be for having stablecoins as a part of it?
Yeah, so we experimented like everybody else. We've raised money for an ICO. We've talked to a lot of people about, hey, would you accept our coin? And a lot of people are like, okay, so how am I going to redeem your coin? All right, so this has led me to this condition, I would say, of any stable coin, which is it's got to be redeemable for cash, right? So if I'm going to pay you a stable coin and it says, well, it's pegged to the dollar. Well, great. I want the dollar back for it. Okay. Well, you can go to Prime Trust. You can go to Morgan Stanley with your account. You can go to XYZ Bank at Bank of America, and you can actually turn in your stable coins, and you can get dollars. Well, bingo. People like that, right? So from our perspective, we're doing this platform for freelance work. I don't want to have to pay people in something called Workcoin, which they're going to be like, what's that worth today? I don't know. Do I have to look on some exchange? No. I want to give them actual hard dollars or hard euros or hard yen for their work, and that's what they ultimately want. And they want to be able to exchange that for dollars.
There's that, and probably not paying high transaction fees on any transfer as well. So
right. So also the other thing about all this stuff is, the big advantage of crypto is, especially if you're looking at something like EOS, 0 transaction fee. Okay, I can send, and I'm happy to demonstrate it. I can send you 6 cents, and you'll get 6 cents back in 1 second. Or I can send you $6 million if I have it in my phone, and you'll get $6 million to the penny in 1 second, and there are no transaction fees. And that's just a huge advantage.
And that's probably one of the advantages or one of the reasons you guys built on EOS instead of Ethereum, I assume.
Yeah, that's also one of the reasons we're working with him to bring a version of our stablecoin onto EOS.
Okay, cool. And that actually kind of leads me to my next question too, which is why is it important for a stablecoin to build off multiple protocols?
Well, it's important to diversify because we don't know which protocol is going to be the ultimate winner in the end, or if there's going to be multiple winners, right? If you look at a browser back then, had anyone bet on Opera or what is it? Some other operating, yeah. Netscape, right? I was looking for that. So, right, if you bet all your eggs in that basket, then you essentially just flop. So it's the same for us. Right now, the most popular protocol out there is Ethereum, which we are releasing our initial version of the stablecoin on. But we are also at the same time building on Stellar and EOS. And in the future, our chain here in Seattle is developing a protocol that could potentially go up to 40, 60,000 transactions per second. So, that is very competitive against Visa or MasterCard. So the more the merrier. So it's not for us to decide what the market should want. We see what the market wants, and then we adapt to it.
Yeah. And
just to add one thing here. I just want to say that the experience, and I really would love, if you just come and see me after the thing, the experience of seeing a transaction happen in 1 second is something that none of you associate with the word crypto, right? Because crypto is like these long hashes. It's complicated. You go somewhere. It's not Venmo, okay? And what I'm about to tell you is with my wallet, with EOS, with Stably, you are about to see, not sometime in the future, but like 30 days from now, a Venmo-like experience. I'm going to give you $120. You got it, and you can go to the bank and cash it out. That is going to be the aha moment for crypto in general, and that's why I think if you look at the price of Bitcoin or Ethereum, you could easily conclude crypto's never going to work. And from my perspective, it's just actually about to completely take off.
That's pretty epic. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, and I think that the big highlight point is that it's kind of, these stable coins are potentially just creating like a global currency. And so if you think about global currency, it's like you don't have to, like if you don't have a US dollar bank account, you still can get a representative US dollar. And so that starts opening up a whole, it's similar to what PayPal did to a lot of these other countries that are working for, it gave them some sort of like representation of US dollar or some sort of quick instant payment, except this is like the crypto version of it now. I think that the biggest point is to start opening up more things for remittance, loans, payouts, because it's a stable, like you don't want to, you loan somebody Bitcoin and then Bitcoin just like tanks just like a few days years ago, then it's like, oh, like you owe more maybe, or you actually get paid less to actually go about buy stuff. So, I think that stable coins will start bringing stability
To the global economy. Well, to expand on that point, I was born and raised in Vietnam, and so I still have family over there. Every 2 or 3 months, I send about $300-400 back to my cousin, and usually I use Western Union. $6 on my end in fees, $6 on his end in fees. $1 in Vietnam is 22,000. So that's a lot of money for a kid in Vietnam. And so like 3 months ago, I was about to send him money again, and he told me, hey, instead of Western Union, why don't you send me Tether, which is the largest stable coin in the world. And I was like, what in the heck are you going to do with these Tether? Are they accepting it over there already? And he said, well, no, but I'm going to take it down the block and sell it to someone who's a Tether dealer, and he would buy the Tether from me for Vietnamese fiat. And that was kind of like the aha moment, because that Tether transaction right there, it costed literally nothing. I mean, it cost probably a couple of pennies in transaction fees, but when he sold to the dealer, there's a slippage, but obviously that was less than the $12 combined in fees that we had to experience before with Western Union.
Cool. So before I get into this next question, I want to just pull the audience real quick. Raise your hand if you're familiar with the concept of the flippening. Anyone? Okay, some people. So the idea of the flippening basically is that some coin will succeed another coin. But my question really is, this is to the group, do you guys ever think that there will be a flippening among the stable coins, specifically one usurps Tether?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, if you look at the current market, Tether market cap is $2.6, $2.7 billion, and all the other stablecoin add up to less than $300 million. That Tether has more than 90% of this market. That will not stand for long. And I think as more and more projects start realizing that, hey, this is a viable business model and it has a lot of merits to it, unlike a lot of these ICOs, smart money will start coming in, and we already seen that. Goldman Sachs jumping in. There's True USD. Vulcan here in Seattle is working on a stablecoin project, and there's a lot of other names that I'd rather not mention. But in the future, I can see not just one major stablecoin like Tether. I can see 5, 10, even 20 of them in the future, perhaps hundreds.
Cool. So here's a question. Why is it so important that stablecoin projects regularly submit to third-party audits of their reserves?
Well, this one is a little bit obvious, but the reason for that really is a stablecoin's price stability is based upon trust. Trust from the market that there is a dollar backing it. And typically, when a stablecoin drops below $1, the people who trust that there is a dollar in the vault, they go purchase that stablecoin, they redeem it with the issuer at par, and they capture that difference in profit for themselves. More and more people start doing this. That keeps the price of the stablecoin as close as possible to $1. Vice versa, when the price is above $1, right? And so, if you don't release audit, if you don't publish how much money you have in your reserve, how can you get people to trust you enough so that they perform that function to maintain the stability of your stablecoin?
So I think there's another aspect to this, though. It's great to know that it's backed by all this money that's in a vault, right? But there's another test, which, one of my friends has dubbed the Kruger test, which is there a financial institution of credibility that is standing behind the ability to redeem your stablecoins one for one? Now, I would assert to you that if Bank of America will take your stablecoins one-to-one, stop worrying about the stablecoin. You know what I mean? Like, you got Bank of America. If Morgan Stanley or, some major instant Wells Fargo is behind, will say, we're going to accept a stablecoin one for one. Yeah, it may dip to 0.99 in a market route or something, but, just take it over to Morgan Stanley, redeem it. Take it over to Bank of America. So I think it's critical that you have really strong balance sheet financial institutions that are behind these things, and they don't even need to be. I don't need to audit Bank of America. I just need to have Bank of America put there saying we're behind this thing.
Okay, so before we open up to questions, I just want to ask real quickly, what are some of the technical hurdles that must be overcome before stablecoin usage becomes more prevalent?
I think one of the initial technical hurdles that needs to be overcome is accessibility, right? So we need to create like some sort of app that allows people to plug in their Bank of America or credit card or whatever in order to purchase a stablecoin. And there's also needs to be an easy way for people to either redeem the stablecoin or exchange the stablecoin into cash. Not that that will become very important in the future, but that right there will build the foundation for people to trust the stablecoin enough so that at some point in the future, when it reaches critical mass, people no longer needs to actually redeem it for $1. It would just hold its value in the market. Similar to how the US dollar was backed by gold back then. Nobody ever actually walked up to the treasury or to redeem the gold from the vault. It just kind of took the value for what it's worth.
Epic. Okay, let's open up to questions.
At what point do you stop relying on pegging your stable, let's say stably, to the U.S. dollar and the Fed's monetary policy? At what point can I go trade forex yen and stablecoin?
So we actually, one of our go-to-market objective is to be agnostic when it comes to national currency. Stable USD is going to be our first product, and then it's going to be stable euro, stable yen, stable yuan, and Korean won, and even Australian dollar. And so, sure, United States might collapse, but the yuan might go up.
I should mention
right?
that just for the purpose of education, the largest bank in Japan, MUFG, is issuing a yen-based stablecoin. The largest bank in Japan.
So that's the trend.
Yes.
Is this just a transitional concept, you think? I mean, at some point, is there not a need for stablecoin because crypto becomes less volatile? For example, US dollar, they don't put gold in or not. We just trust the US dollar. What does gold mean?
Right. I think, in order for crypto by itself to reaches the level of stability that's viable for consumer application as well as enterprise application, there needs to be, first of all, a lot more money in the space. If you look at the market cap of the whole entire crypto market, what is it today, 220 billion or something? That's less than the market cap of Amazon or Apple or even Facebook. Like any one of these single company would dwarf the entire market cap of crypto. And so with such small, with just little money and low liquidity, that stability is not going to come until mainstream adoption has come. And even when that comes, whether or not it will actually stabilize is debatable. If you look at the stock market has been around since I don't know how long, and stocks are definitely not a stable instrument.
One point I would say too is that you see the market cap is like 220 billion, but we saw what potentially Tether did to push it up to 1 trillion or with more. 700 billion, and imagine that's Tether, not potentially audited, maybe not, but we're going to introduce 90 hopefully institutionally backed stable coins. Imagine how much more volume and impact that will have on the whole crypto market in general too. So I think that's what it's going to be next. Then we're going to see a big potential push. If you could see what Tether did by itself to do the impact on the Bitcoin price and Ether and etc. Imagine that, and then also imagine starting to unpair away from Bitcoin. I think that stablecoins can also do a lot of that too, which is going to be, I think, amazing because I don't like Bitcoin either.
Okay, guys, we're all out of time, but it's probably lots of more questions. Come find any of these guys afterwards, and we'll definitely talk more. The question for the audience is, do you think stablecoin adoption will be necessary for the long-term proliferation and adoption of cryptocurrency? So are stablecoins necessary for crypto to continue into the future? Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Corey. And thank you, Fred.